Well, we're back. Welcome to the Scoop. It's been a little bit, but went on a retreat and
got
things
sick
come in.
and
Yeah. So we're here. We're back.
Yeah.
And just starting off, we're not sure if this is going to go one episode or two. It kind of depends on how long it is, and you might see us split something, and then all of a sudden, like next week, we're still wearing the same clothes. But
yeah, the reason we did that last episode is because we want everybody to understand that it is a problem, that it's not something that we can just ignore, but we also don't want to just leave it at that. And we're sorry that we left you hanging for a couple weeks, but there are things that you can do. And so we're going to go through some of the really practical things and some of the sort of philosophical changes that you may need to make in your family and see how can we address these huge issues.
Yeah, I think a question that a lot of parents ask right off the bat is, okay, so there's issues. How do I protect my kids? How do I protect my kid from pornography, from social media addictions, from just getting into things that they don't need to get into? And so what do I do? And so I think people start and they want the practical. What do we do? And there's a lot of resources out there. Some of them cost money. Some of them are free. You get what you pay for. And so the free ones might not necessarily be great, but some of them are actually really good. You have like Covenant Eyes as a resource that's available that focuses on pornography for computers, for cell phones, for all sorts of things. And so it's a family plan that you pay. I think it's $16, $17 a month. There's things through XXX Church has been around for a long time as far as offering help and support for people who are addicted to pornography. But a new player to the game is a company called Bark, and for $9 a month, it's cheaper than some of the other options. But it's not covering just pornography. This is looking at social media usage, texts, pornography as well. But it gives parents an opportunity to see what their kids have access to and can kind of control those things, set up parameters. From what I've heard about Bark, it seems really impressive and really good. If I were to pick between Bark and Covenant Eyes now, I think I would probably go with Bark just from the little bit that I've read. But they've found so much as far as how phone usage leads to anxiety and depression and self-harm. And so a lot of the things in Bark, by being able to see text, by seeing social media habits, by seeing what people are looking at on their phones, parents are able to detect self-harm and suicidal thoughts and depression and different things like that. So that's been an interesting thing to look at.
One of the really cool resources that we found when doing some research for this is a website called Protect Young Eyes. And it's a great place to go if you're not really tech savvy or if you don't really even know where to start for this stuff. They have tutorials for every single device that you can think of. And they have reviews of all of these different services and products that will help you protect your family. And it's kind of a great one-stop shop to go to figure out where to begin and to look into these different options and see what's going to work best for your family.
They'll protect computers, cell phones, gaming devices. I think we don't realize every place that people can get access to the internet and access pornography, social media.
You can buy a refrigerator these days that comes with a browser on it. And if it's got a browser on it, your kid is probably going to figure out how to use it.
Protect Young Eyes is a great site. They actually tour the country to try to train parents. They're also going to point you to CleanBrowsing.org, which is a DNS server. I've used OpenDNS, but they kind of recommend CleanBrowsing. That's a free service, and that's a great service, but it protects what goes on in your house. But that's going to work for in your house.
Yeah, when they're connected to Wi-Fi, not going to work for if they're using data.
And then they'll point you to Circle, which is a Disney device. So there's Circle and there's Circle Go, which Circle Go is now a server that would go onto a phone. So it's not just protecting your Wi-Fi at home, but Circle Go is a hardware that you purchase. It's, I think, $130, but from what I saw is like if you order it through Best Buy, it's $30 off. So it's $100. The Circle Go is a subscription. That's software. Those are options and things that you need to look into. I know for myself, I've used OpenDNS for years at my house, which is helpful for protecting myself. And at the time when I was single, my roommates, but it wasn't as helpful until I actually had to turn to Jordan and say, hey, Jordan, like, this does me no good if I actually know what the password is. And so Jordan set the password for my house, and so now Jordan's in control of my internet at home, but he doesn't remember the password probably either.
I just turn the internet off whenever I'm feeling angry at Phil.
Setting all of these things up can be great, but it only goes so far.
The thing that is so difficult with this is that no matter how safe you think your house is, no matter how great the services that you buy, like, it's always going to be difficult to stay ahead of a kid who has grown up with the internet and stay in front of their entire group of friends who may all be trying to figure out a solution to get past some of this stuff. And it may not to be for nefarious reasons, but just because kids like to test boundaries and to poke holes and find loopholes. And so if you're relying 100% on a technological solution to protect your family, you are probably leaving yourself open to some big glaring holes.
Yeah, this has got to be a heart issue, and it comes with conversations. It comes with relationships. You can set your kid up so that they can't get social media on their phones, and yet I know of students who just go, and I'm not allowed to have Snapchat, but you are, and so you can create an account for me on your phone, and now I have Snapchat because I say, hey, Jordan, can I have my Snapchat? And then I just borrow his phone, and I'm able to post whatever I want or get to whatever I want. So there's loopholes, and so it comes down to protect yourself as much as you want. It's a hard issue. It's a conversation. It's not a conversation. It's many conversations that take place in a family just to say, how are we going to protect us?
Yeah, and it has to be an ongoing conversation. This can't be something that you just set up one time and explain the rules and then just hope that, 2-3 years later that everything is good. It has to be a continued conversation, and that is where we've seen the most success. The students that are doing well, that are thriving, that are having success in beating these addictions are the ones who are having these constant conversations.
Just had a conversation with my small group last week where a student was like, well, I've been talking to my dad about this since 6th grade. Like, it happens all the time, and it's a regular conversation. It's awkward at first, but I don't have any issues because my dad's going to ask me about it every week, if not every day. That's a regular thing. And like, to have a high school guy who's thankful for a parent who checks in to ask about their thoughts, what they're seeing on the internet, what they're seeing on a phone, and recognizing that their parents are trying to protect them, help their understanding of, why don't I have a cell phone? Why don't I have access to these different things? A couple of things that we offer to parents. We have parent contracts. If you're thinking about getting your kid a phone, there's just simple contracts for cell phone, technology, video games, different things. It creates a conversation that says, this is a privilege and not a right. Going through it, whether you want to use it to have you and your child sign it in order to give them access to those things, or if you're looking for bullet points of what to talk about, because it talks about, like, hey, if I get a weird text, I agree that I'm going to show my parents if I get something that's questionable. I agree that we're going to talk about what's appropriate and what's not. We agree that a cell phone is a tool to be used and not to be abused. Like, it's a tool, not a toy. And so when I'm with people are more important than my phone, and so I need to put it away. And so setting parameters and different things. And so those all come from different conversations. Protecting your house, protecting your phones, great. Getting to the heart is key. All the protections that you have won't be successful without conversation.
The protections that you're going to put on your house are incredible guardrails, and they're there that they're going to help keep you on track. But without those conversations, without that understanding between you and your student, it's just a guardrail that they can step over and that they can get past. All right, I think that is all for today, but we will see you next time.